The first job of today is to get this exhaust on. As I mentioned before, we have an OEM Replica Delkevic exhaust that's going to go on. It is double walled just like the original. It's going to sound just like the original and work just like the original. Putting exhaust on is not my favorite task. It's a pretty finicky job. You got these collars right here. You got these holders. These things have to go around. You have the crush washer that has to go in. This has to go here. All these pieces get held together and pushed against the exhaust. One of the things that helps is a little copper sealant. I like to put that on the crush washers, put them in first. The sealant here holds them in place for you so they don't fall out while you're working. And then these will get it, kind of up there, lined up. We'll try to use this to hold these in place, and then we'll get it in. The problem is I only have two hands and I have to do at least two at a time. So 2 collars and then 4 of these things. So we'll see how it goes. First job of the day. Alright, this was way more of a struggle than it should have been. I could not get this center pipe in to save my life, and struggled for longer than I should have. I went ahead and opened up the other box, the left side box, and used the number 2 pipe, or at least what I assume is a number 2 pipe. They very well could have just mixed them up. I have no idea. But yeah, this came out of the left side box, and it dropped pretty much right on. I had no trouble at all with this one. But the pipe that came with the right side exhaust just wouldn't go in at all. It was way off. So I'm gonna, I think, proceed to do the left side now. I'm hoping that this pipe fits on the left side. Otherwise, I don't know. I'll have to contact Delkevic and see what they can do. I'm also running into an issue getting this clamp on. I don't know if you can see it. So this clamp needs to go over this joint here. And if I get the clamp on without the bolt in, I can't get the bolt in. If I put the bolt in first, I can't get the clamp on. So I'm gonna go see if I can find a longer bolt for this. What a job this turned into. Essentially, these number 2 and number 5 I couldn't get in. It turned out to be an exhaust gasket that was getting stuck on one of them. It just wouldn't slide up enough. So I figured out what the issue was eventually, and was able to get them both on, so that's cool. But I ran into a problem that made me stop for a little while. Let's see if we can zoom in here. There it is. This exhaust stud is completely stripped out. I mean, it's not completely stripped out actually, but it is definitely stripped out. The hole is. So it was in here quite loose. It was actually in here backwards. So whoever caused this problem decided that they would put the exhaust stud in backwards. I think to maybe get more threads on it. I'm not sure, but And I only kind of discovered it because I couldn't get the nut on the end of this one, and then I realized it looked shorter than all the others. So I pulled it, I compared it, and I was like, oh, there's less threads, and then thought maybe it was broke off. But yeah, see how loose that is? It's not good. I'm gonna put a heel coil in this, I think. The exhaust is on. This probably should not have taken me all day, but it did. The first job of the day pretty much became the only job of the day. Now I think it looks really good. I'll give you a couple of tips so that if you put this exhaust on your CBX, maybe it'll go faster than it did for me. First tip is the number 2 and number 5 pipe, the one I was talking about earlier. They are interchangeable from left to right. They're supposed to be the same, and that's fine. There is an exhaust gasket that you have to slide it onto the pipe, and you really got to slide that thing probably about 2 inches onto the pipe. So you need about 2 inches of extra pipe after the end of the gasket. That's why I couldn't get it on. I emailed Delkevic, and they just said, oh, use 2 people and line everything up, keep everything loose. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's right. Unfortunately, I don't have a second person, but let's see if we can figure this out. I got the other pipe out and it slid right on, and then I pulled it back off and noticed that that exhaust gasket had slid up. So when I got it to go on, it pushed that exhaust gasket back up. So one side, the exhaust gasket could slide, and as you pushed it into the collector, it slid where it needed to go. On the other side, that gasket would not slide at all. So I had to force it where it needed to go, and eventually it worked. So lesson learned there. If you ever put this exhaust on, make sure you slide that exhaust gasket up with at least 2 inches of exposed pipe, of the outer pipe, and hopefully you won't have the same problems I had. Other than that, it actually really does fit quite well. I think this really should be the opposite. They send you 2 of the same, and it would be nice if the head was on the outside, but these only go one way because there's a tab that slides in and locks. So you can see it right there, that there's a little tab here, and it slides into that separation and locks it in, I guess, keeps it from rotating. But on this left side, it'd be nice if that was the head of the bolt. It is on the other side, so it'd be nice if they sent you opposites. You can see on this side, that's the head of the bolt, and same thing. The tab has to go in front. So anyway, other than that, it's I don't have much to complain about. I think it looks perfect. Now that it's on, it looks very original. I love it, and I'm gonna maybe tomorrow, the next day, I'll fire it up and have a listen. But she is looking really good, huh? There you go. Fender, exhaust, tail, seat, side covers, everything but the tank. I do have these crank covers that I'm going to replace. I have new ones, brand new OEM ones that are going to go on. That's going to look great. And the gas tank, obviously, I'll put on. I'll probably put that on tomorrow. I got to manipulate the badges. Maybe I'll make a video of how to do that. Hopefully I don't break them. I got the badges from the Super Sports shed quite a while ago. They still sell them. They're available. I think they're $50. Not sure if that's US or Euro, but check them out, the Super Sports shed. They have a lot of parts for these, and that just happens to be one. That's the only place that I know of to get the reproduction tank badges. So more on that in the next video, but I think that's going to do it for today. The exhaust is on. it looks good, and I'm happy.